Hello, my name is Justin, and today we are continuing the Yellowjacket team timeline rewatch. Today we are talking about episode 3. This episode is called The Dollhouse, and it starts with the team who are huddled in a circle burying those who've died in the crash. Not much really to say here other than, and then again, I'm sorry, I know I'm gonna say this going forward with these episodes, but it's just a little whiplash when you know that just the summer after this, they have a different way of respecting those who've died. So we focus on Thaisa, who's having a memory of her dying grandmother, who's telling her about angels and all that stuff, which, if what we've seen in season 3 was true, with the man with no eyes being the mascot of an ice cream shop, then I'm kind of setting up the timeline in my head where what we're seeing with Thaisa and her grandmother takes place after Thaisa has already seen that commercial. And I'll get into that later. So the team is rationing food and water when Travis takes some food, and Mari's like, who died and made him king? And Natalie's like, literally his dad, Mari. Literally his dad. And what I want to say about that is I love the consistency of Mari not really being the brightest. She's very personality, but she's not like smart, if that makes sense. Jackie says something about them being on their way, and Van was like, doubt it. And what I want to say about that is I think it's interesting that you would think that Van would still be holding out hope for rescue, especially after surviving the fire. Not so much teen Van, but adult Van kind of confuses me. And I guess we'll talk about that when we get into season 2. But sometimes Van seems to be on one side of things and then totally flips. And it's like not really explained. That's more towards the adult Van. So Travis forces Javi to eat, just like Van forced him to eat Javi. But like I said, we'll get into that when we get into season 2. Misty is trying to feed Ben, which I think is another parallel to season 3 when he's not eating. Lottie officially runs out of pills. So things are about to go to shit. Thaisa finds a river on her walk and wants to go check it out, but Jackie wants to stay for rescue. What I'm kind of just connecting right now is like, would Jackie have wanted? No, Jackie wouldn't have wanted to stay. No. I'm not even going to entertain that thought because Jackie, she didn't make it that far for that purpose. She's not the type of person who is a survivalist. But I just think it's something to think about where Thaisa wants to go and so does Shauna, and Jackie is kind of protesting that she wants to stay, which is something those two will do again next summer. So they go to the lake after taking stuff from the plane, like a compass and stuff, and leaving a note written in lipstick, I believe. It's SOS, gone too lake, and that is written on the plane. Something I find fascinating is Shauna agreeing with Thaisa to go deeper and to go find the lake, because Thaisa agrees on Shauna's vote to stay next summer. The team walks across a bear that seems to have like its intestines ripped out, and Ben is like, probably a wolf. And I guess it was just something about, not more so about the bear, but more so about the symbolism that wolves travel in packs and they can take anything down. But what I wanted to say about this scene is Thaisa hears a voice from deep inside the woods, and she's like looking off when she's asked if she's okay, and she kind of just brushes it off, which is very Thaisa of her. But I'm like, was that voice the friend of Javi's we've been hearing about? And then I've mentioned this before, but there's this video, something about why Showtime actors left their show, and the girl was talking about the lost bonus episode for season 2. She was saying that there was like a little girl that kept coming to the cabin, talking to the cabin guy's wife, but every time he came around, there was no little girl. I have a whole theory that was Lottie. Okay, I'm not even gonna get into it right now. But what I want to say about that is, could that be the girl? Or what was that? Like, I already believe we're not going to get the symbol answered, but like, you can't just like let us believe that someone else is out there and then we like never hear about it. Because even Ben was talking to someone when he was in the caves. I don't know. I guess I'm just scared that there are going to be a lot of things tied specifically to season 2 that we're never going to get answers for. I guess in a way just to make it more compelling if it was supernatural or if it was something mental, you know? So in this episode, they find the lake and go swimming. Jackie gets in the water and she makes one of her many cold jokes of being cold. Love that. Misty is trying to squirt water on Coach Ben and he's not having it. When Akilah tells Taissa, who's doing her hair, that if Misty ever tried to get water on her hair, what does she say? Like, Ben wouldn't be the only one missing a leg or something like that. Akilah says that Taissa has the JV team fooled. And Taissa is like self-conscious about being gay and being into Van and is like scared by that when she says that. But Akilah was actually like, you're actually not a bitch. So I think that is pretty intriguing. I think we're, like I've said, maybe I can't remember, honestly. I can't remember if it was the predictions video. I think it was when I was talking about the 1998 scene. Taissa was like hiding her face. So yeah, I think it was that video where I talk about how I think Taissa is, when they arrive back home, I think she is going to kind of convince herself that her relationship with Van was almost on the same level of everything else she did out there and is tying that solely to survival rather than like her actual own wants and interest in people, even if that's not the type of gender she's supposed to be attracted to back in society. So Jackie is mad that Shauna didn't agree with her, even though Jackie's literally enjoying herself. Again, it's intriguing that in this scene, Shauna is looking at her first and last cannibalistic meal in the wilderness. For all I know, until season 4, that scene of her in the water looking at Jackie talking to Mari when Jackie like rolls her eyes and like gets back into the conversation. I just think that's interesting. Like, that's literally her first and last cannibalistic meal that we know of. So while swimming, Lottie sees a reflection and they all get out and come across the cabin. So they quickly find out that no one lives there. It's been abandoned for, Jackie says, a century. And they go to check on the food and Jackie's like, hell yeah, found some. She opens it and it's like sludge. It's gross. It's like bugs and all that gross stuff. But Taissa was telling Jackie that the food is not her personal buffet. And I'm over here like, okay, but Jackie is for the rest of them. You know what I mean? So Jackie throws a fit and runs outside. Another parallel is Shauna looking at her from out the window. This parallels the end of this season. Travis takes a porn magazine outside because Van found them and they started kind of making fun of him. Like, ooh, do girls really get off on this? And he's like, no, like you literally can't even tell like their favorite bug, you know? So he takes one outside and Javi follows him. Travis is mad that he's still chewing the gum that his dad gave him, and he's like forcing him to spit it out, telling him that his dad was an asshole. And I think he gets the gum and like throws it into the wilderness. I kind of wish we had a scene of Travis in season 3 like looking for that gum. I don't know. I just think it would have been like, I mean, horribly sad, but also like kind of funny. Like, he was all upset at his dad and Javi in the world this summer, and then I guess, I don't know, I would have found it somewhat funny if he was looking for that gum the next summer instead of kind of just like sitting in the background being drunk on shroom tea. So Shauna goes outside and talks to Jackie. She apologizes for not taking Jackie's side. I mean, she says she doesn't know what she's doing out here. Like, she's just trying to do what she thinks is best. And it's like, is that still true for you, Shauna, when you tell the others to give you Mari's hair because you have a weird fascination with hair? But, she's like, I just need my best friend right now. I just need her. I think it's almost like kind of demented of Shauna to be, or I guess she doesn't know she's pregnant with Jeff's baby, but to like do what she did and then to be like, Jackie, I like really need you. Like, that's demented, like on another level to do that. Really, it's giving Nate with McKay in Euphoria after Nate and Cassie hooked up. Ben is being hassled by flies and is mad at his leg and everyone. And he falls and Misty tries to like pick him up. She's like doting over him and he slaps her. Ben is like, why can't you guys just let me die? Like, I can't live life like this. And Misty's like, we need you. We need you, Ben. And Misty has never faltered. Like, she's always been who she is, and she never stuttered any word. She is probably the most confident. I think she just doesn't understand why people don't like her. It's not that there isn't anything to like, and that's on period. But I said that when Misty is saying that they need him for the frog scientist. Yeah. So we go back to Thaisa's memory with her grandma, and her grandma is like kind of freaking out, and it's like, stay away from me, stay away from me. And Thaisa's like, yeah, baby Thaisa is like, oh my god, are they angels here? And her grandma's like, it's the man with no eyes, so let him take them, please. And Thaisa looks in the mirror and sees the mascot. So what I wanted to say about this is it actually makes sense that if Thaisa saw that mascot as a little kid, and then she hears her grandma freaking out about some man with no eyes is trying to take her eyes, and it's like this demon, of course that's what Thaisa's mind is going to go to and apply to something that wasn't probably even there. I mean, I pretty much just said what I already said, but that's fine. It's fine. So now, back in the wilderness, they're all like in the cabin, hanging out, doing their key, and Lottie is like sitting outside. She's like, I have a bad feeling about this place. And Thaisa is like, shut the fuck up. Lottie, get back. Let's go inside. You're sleep, okay? Just go to bed. And that's exactly what they do until Thaisa wakes up in the middle of the night hearing creaks from the floorboards upstairs. So she goes into the pantry where there's a ladder upstairs. I believe that's what it was, or it's like some closet or something. So Thaisa climbs her way up the stairs when she sees Lottie huddled in a corner. And Lottie, she's saying, I had a bad feeling about this place. And Thaisa looks over at what Lottie's pointing at or looking at, and she covers her mouth, and her eyes widen, and pans over, and it's Cabin Guy's skeleton with the symbol engraved into the wood. And that is the end of this episode. Let me know what you thought of the teen timeline for episode 3. We are very much still just setting up some things. Lottie and her connection with the cabin, Natalie and Travis, Shauna and Jackie, Thaisa and Van. So yeah, look out for the second part to episode 3. It will be the adult timeline. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and good boy.